All right, let's dive into one of the most intense family dramas in the entire Bible, Genesis chapter 31. This isn't just a story, it's the culmination of 20 years of simmering tension. We're talking about Jacob's great escape from his father-in-law, Laban, who's been deceiving him for decades. It's an incredible account of broken promises, a miraculous intervention from God, and a confrontation that honestly changes the course of history. And really, this whole story is built around a question that I think we can all relate to at some point in our lives. How does God get you out of a situation that feels absolutely impossible to escape on your own? Jacob's journey here, it's so much more than just a guy quitting a bad job. It's a powerful picture of God's faithfulness and his ability to step in and rescue us when we've hit a dead end.
Okay, so let's set the scene. We're at the breaking point. 20 years. I mean, think about that. For 2 decades, Jacob has been working for Laban, and their relationship has just completely fallen apart. The air is so thick with tension you could feel it. And you just know, something is about to snap.
And this is where things get really interesting, because we see 2 totally different perspectives. From Jacob's point of view, he just knows something's off. He can see it on Laban's face. You know that feeling? The vibe has shifted. But God sees everything. He doesn't just see the cold shoulder, he sees every single time Laban changed Jacob's wages, every bit of the exploitation. It's like Jacob could see the smoke, but God saw the fire and knew exactly where it was coming from.
And this is so key. God doesn't just sit back and watch. No, he steps in. He speaks directly to Jacob and gives him a command. Return. So this isn't Jacob just waking up one day and deciding he's had it. This is a direct order from God. It's a divinely orchestrated escape plan. And it comes with the single most powerful promise you could ever get. I will be with you. I mean, that changes everything, right? It's not about Jacob's strength anymore. It's about God's presence.
So what does Jacob do? He goes to his wives, Rachel and Leah. And remember, these are Laban's own daughters. And what do they say? They are 100% with him. They basically say, our own father has treated us like we're nothing to him. He sold us and spent all our money. So Jacob gets his confirmation. The whole family is on the same page. It's time to go.
So he's got the command from God and the full support of his family. Now Jacob has to make a move, and it is a risky one. He knows he can't just walk up to Laban and give his 2 weeks' notice. No, he has to run. This is the beginning of a very dangerous, very secret departure.
Jacob waits for the perfect moment. Laban is off shearing his sheep, so it's the perfect opportunity. He gathers his wives, his children, all the flocks, everything. And he just slips away, quietly. But, and this is a huge but, there's a secret complication, a twist. Jacob has no idea, but his wife Rachel has stolen something from her father's house. She's taken his household idols, and that one decision is about to ignite this whole situation into a massive confrontation.
And you can just imagine what happens next, right? Laban finds out, and he is absolutely livid. This isn't a, oh, well, he left. No, this triggers a furious 7-day chase across the wilderness. The stakes are incredibly high.
Look at this timeline. It really shows you just how intense this was. Jacob gets a 3-day head start. It's not until day 3 that Laban even hears that he's gone. But once he knows, he gathers his men and he is relentless. For 7 days, they ride hard. Laban's rage is literally closing the distance. And on that 7th day, he finally catches up to Jacob and his family in the mountains of Gilead. It's about to go down.
But here's where God's promise to be with Jacob gets real. The night before Laban gets to him, just as he's probably planning what he's going to do, God shows up. He comes to Laban in a dream and gives him this crystal clear warning. Don't you dare say a single word to Jacob, good or bad. Just like that, God completely diffuses the situation before it even begins. And the craziest part? Jacob is sleeping in his tent, completely unaware that God is already fighting his battle for him. That promise, I will be with you, wasn't a metaphor.
So the next day, they finally meet face to face, and Laban just lays into him. He starts with this guilt trip, Why did you sneak away? I would have thrown you a big party. But then he gets to the real reason he's so mad. He cuts right to the chase. And why did you steal my gods? Now we know what's really driving him. He's not just hurt. He's furious, and he wants his property back.
And this right here is the climax. We've got a tense standoff in the mountains and everything. Jacob's life, his family's future, it all comes down to a desperate search for these stolen idols.
Now, Jacob has no clue that Rachel took them, right? So he says, completely confident, Whoever has your gods, let them be put to death. Oh man. So Laban takes him up on it. He starts searching. He goes through Jacob's tent. Nothing. He goes through Leah's tent. Nothing. Then the two maidservants' tents. Still nothing. You can just feel the tension cranking up with every tent he clears. Finally, there's only one place left to look. Rachel's tent.
And this is just a moment of pure, cunning deception. Like father, like daughter, right? Rachel has taken the idols, stuffed them into the camel's saddle, and is just sitting on top of them. When her father comes in, she says, "Sorry, Dad, can't get up. You know, it's that time of the month." And Laban, well, he doesn't push it. He just moves on. And with that one quick, clever lie, the search is over, the idols are safe, and so is Jacob. Okay, so Laban comes up empty. And now that Jacob has been proven innocent of this one big accusation, it's like a dam breaks. The tables turn completely. 20 years of being cheated and mistreated just comes pouring out. It's Jacob's turn to talk, and he does not hold back.
And he starts with this one, powerful number, 20. 20 years. Let that sink in. He says, "I've worked for you for 20 years. 14 of those were just to earn his wives, and another 6 for the flocks." This wasn't some summer job. This was his life. A whole generation spent serving a man who was constantly, consistently ripping him off. And then he just paints this picture of what those years were really like. He talks about being out in the field, the brutal sun beating down on him during the day, and then the freezing frost at night. He talks about losing sleep, constantly watching over the flock. He makes it clear, "I wasn't lazy. I gave you everything I had." And for all that hard work, what was his reward? Deception. Jacob throws it right in his face. "You changed my wages 10 times. 10 times! I mean, this wasn't just some accounting error. This was a pattern, a system designed to keep Jacob trapped and working for less than he was worth." And then Jacob gets to the heart of it all. He brings it all back to God. He looks Laban right in the eye and says, "If it weren't for the God of my father, if he hadn't been on my side, you would have sent me away with absolutely nothing." Jacob is declaring right there that God saw his struggle, God saw his hard work, and God is the one who blessed him and protected him. It's just this incredible statement of faith right in the face of his accuser. And after that, what can Laban even say? He's been completely shut down. Jacob laid out the truth and Laban has no comeback. The fire goes out of the confrontation, and they both realize there's only one way this can end. They have to make a covenant, a formal treaty, to draw a line in the sand and go their separate ways. So they do something very symbolic. They set up a pillar of stone and they pile up a heap of rocks to act as a physical boundary. And they give this place 2 names that are super important. The first is Gilead, which means heap of witness, the idea being that this pile of rocks will stand as a silent witness to their promise. And the second is Mizpah, which means watchtower, because they're saying God himself will be the watchtower over this agreement. And if you listen to the actual words of the covenant, it tells you everything you need to know about their relationship. This isn't a peace treaty built on renewed friendship. It's a treaty built on total distrust. They're basically saying, "I don't trust you, you don't trust me, so let's ask God to watch us and make sure neither of us crosses the line." God becomes the ultimate referee, the divine enforcer, especially when it comes to how Jacob treats Laban's daughters. And that really leaves us with something to think about, doesn't it? The trust between these 2 men was just gone, completely broken. So the only way they could make peace was to build it on a foundation bigger than themselves, God. And it makes you ask, what happens when human trust is shattered in our own lives? What does it really look like to make a covenant, to find peace by relying on God to be the ultimate witness and the one who keeps it?